Now, I wouldn't really say that I'm the pinnacle of diverse OCs. I just like making characters that are different from what I see in media. I wouldn't also say that this is a tutorial on it either. More like tips or tricks on how to flesh out your OCs, not to only make them physically diverse, but mentally as well. Not only will I talk about making your characters racially different, but I will also talk about like making your characters unique as a whole. This video will be split up into 5 segments: aesthetics, personality types, cultural backgrounds, tackling same face syndrome, and body shape. Then in the end, I'll talk about how you can combine all of that and apply it to your very own lovely characters. Also, I don't know if my advice can apply to like non-human OCs, but if it somehow does, you know what, hell yeah. Who am I to judge? Alright, so let's get into what I believe is the easy part of OC creation. I think it's easy. I don't know about you, but I think it's easy. It's their aesthetics or their overall theme, I guess. I don't know, it'll be easy once you pick a time period for these OCs, what these OCs will be based in. Like, to be specific, for mine, right? Since it's set in more modern day, I use aesthetics that existed or are popular during this time. If we're gonna get deeper, it's like in 2022 to 2023. So it's just like, what, 2 to 3 years ago? So it's a lot easier for me since I basically lived those times. If I didn't, I'd be kind of concerned. And this goes for like overall aesthetic too, not just their outfits. To spice it up a little bit, make it more fun, your OCs can have different vibes. Like, they dress one way, but maybe own or have a living space that's the total opposite of how they present themselves. Like, or you can still have it be monotonous. Like, you can have everything they own be the same type of aesthetic. No shame in that. I just think it'd be fun to mix and match it, you know? I have some OCs that have like corresponding aesthetics that align with their outfits. I have some OCs that don't. It makes it fun and different. And forming their aesthetics, I believe it's like kind of like when you first meet someone and it's like getting the first impression of that person. Like, okay, like the first thing you may notice is how they present themselves when you first meet someone. You're like, why the fuck are they wearing that? Or maybe that's not something you notice at all. Maybe you notice their aura or their whatchamacallit, their like personality or something like that. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense. I feel like I'm spewing nonsense. For outfits though, we're gonna move into the outfits specifically. Disclaimer, I am not a fashion mofo. I don't know anything about brands or styling wise. I just like to draw pretty clothes that I see online, and that's that. Okay, I literally have no fashion sense whatsoever, so please don't come to me for fashion advice ever. But I feel like it's a lot more fun and cool to give them outfits that are trendy or prevalent during their time period. Let's say your OCs is like set in the early 2000s. I see that that's like the popular time period. Like, all right, what would they wear? They would wear outfits that are popular during that time. I don't know if I can name any outfits from that time, but yeah. Besides that, what helped me like afterwards making like when I made these characters is making Pinterest boards of my OCs. I feel like it's more beneficial to make them before, but my lazy ass just decided to wait a whole 6 months to make it. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'll link my Pinterest down below so you guys can go check it out if you want to and get some inspiration. And if you don't like Pinterest, which is fairly understandable, you can also use like Canva to create mood boards to just have their initial designs down or have their overall vibe be in a more confined space so that it's more organized. I don't know, like just get something started first. And of course, to know how they'll wear their outfits or decorate their living space or just how they act, you will have to take their personalities into consideration. Are they the type to accessorize? Do they prefer to lazily throw something on? Do they like layering? Do they like minimalism or maximalism? Are they messy? Are they clean? Stuff like that. I feel like it's really fun to consider that. I think I treat my characters too much like real people. It's kind of scary. Personally, I think to make a good yet diverse group of OCs is giving them very much distinct personalities, traits to like separate them from each other in a way. This is where you can show it through how they act, how they carry themselves, how they interact with people. It's definitely more of like a show don't tell type aspect. It is, to me, repetitive if you have the same cookie cutter personalities amongst your OCs, or if they all just interact the same. However, it is okay to have a few of your OCs act the same. There are people that you'll meet and you'll think, hey, they're just like me. That's fine. To describe one of my OC's personalities, right? I'm gonna pick a random one, Jay. He yaps a lot and will reference any form of chronically online media every chance he gets. He's just that stupid. And his personality is like very out there, but he's like an introvert. And yes, introverts who are mega yappers exist because I exist. I talk so much, but then I prefer to recharge myself by being alone and isolating myself because I don't know, people sometimes drain me. And that's just sometimes how it is. And extroverted people and introverted people come in like a spectrum. Everything is like in a spectrum. There's not one way you can be extroverted and there's not one way you can be introverted. There can be extroverted people who prefer to just not talk most of the time, but they will go out of their way to talk to people, you know? Back to Jay. It's like when you first interact with him, he'll be like very chill and quiet, not wanting to push any boundaries. Of course, with like specific people, he'll observe their vibe and make sure, you know, it's okay to be the way he is with them. And this is just like the basis of his personality. There's like way more to him. You just gotta go check out my Unveil. I wrote all about his personality on there. Not sponsored. This video is not sponsored by Unveil, unfortunately. So yes, there are some aspects of his childhood that made him this way. I try to keep that in mind when developing his personality. Of course, personality is trial and error. You'll definitely develop it as you put more time and care into fleshing out your little dude. It took me a lot of time to really flesh these characters out, and I'm still in the process of doing that. It also doesn't necessarily matter the order you form the personality. You can form them before making their backstory, but it does make it easier to have a backstory on hand to bounce off of that. It's kind of like a, oh, that's why they do the things they do kind of moment. Treat your OC like it's a sculpture, you know? Make it happen first. You can refine it later. Because I remember when I made my OCs, they initially had some personality. Some didn't even have personality, they just had the design and name, and that was it. But it's not as fleshed out as they are now because I had no backstory plan for them. They were all just blank slates. And some of them don't even act the same as how they used to act anymore. And honestly, it kind of helps determining why they act the way they do. And personally, I really love to have childhood and backstory tie back to how they react and interact with things and people around them, which is why thinking of their cultural background is important as well. Like, is their childhood like that because of the culture they grew up in? Does their race, ethnicity play a big factor in their childhood? However, it doesn't even have to be. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. They could just be what they are because that's what they are. Like, you can do whatever you want to your OCs. You can add trauma. You can make them happy. You can have them experience trauma in their current story. You can do whatever you want as long as you do it tastefully. At least, though, for the cultural background aspect, if you're making like an OC that isn't human or comes from a made-up world, then I'm not sure if this segment will apply to you. But if it does, you know, that's awesome then. That's awesome. For me, this part is a bit tricky, if I'm gonna be honest. Initially making these OCs, I kind of just picked a random ethnicity and gave them to each of my OCs, except for Viet, because, well, I'm Viet, and it's a culture that I'm more familiar with, so my main characters are Vietnamese. Yes, Elise and Evan are Vietnamese, and I know that people will be like, oh, so you're just being cringy and making self-inserts. Yeah, so what if I am? If you think that making self-inserts are cringe, or basically literally everything that people have done in art in these past couple years is cringe, you just have no joy and whimsy, and you need to go back to your roots and live the fun and joy that we've all experienced making very cringy self-inserts, okay? Like, I bet every nickel that most of the stories you read or watch, like most of the media that you've seen, the main characters are the author's self-inserts in some type of way. And there's no shame in that if you're doing it tastefully and not weird, okay? So yeah, like Elise and Evan are both Viet, and then I also made them half Japanese. I don't know why I did, I just did. Obviously, as for the others, I'm not familiar with any of their cultures, which is something that I need to do more research on and definitely need to do better, because my cast is so different from one another. My cast is so different from one another that it makes me a little scared that if I did something wrong, I'd get burned or like smacked in the face. You know what I mean? And that's probably why it's never obvious to my viewers what ethnicity they are until I outright say it, or have one of them speak their native tongue, and then I get flooded with these type of comments. I find them really funny. But aside from that, I do believe making everyone different ethnicities is very fun, not just for backstory purposes, but for their designs too. Like, you can definitely play around with how they look, like if they're black, what type of hairstyle would they have locks, would they have braids, and there's many different kinds of braids. There's not just like one set braids that black people have, or what they just go natural, like show off their curls. You can also play around with their faces too, like what they have bigger noses, bigger nostrils, or they have bigger lips or smaller lips, because not all black people will have big lips, and not all of them will have big noses. Oh, and if they're Asian, what part of Asia are they from? Like, do they have monolids, double lids, what face shape would they have? And take everyone's skin color into account. Would they be more dark-skinned, light-skinned, extremely pale, slightly tan? The possibilities are endless. And for those who are very, very pale, would they be able to tan? Or just get sunburnt? Or do they have freckles? Do they have like moles, vitiligo, burn scars? You name it. Anything. I don't know, I like paying attention to those type of details when making my characters. It's like, it makes it more fun. It makes it more joyous and whimsical for me. Another thing, if you really want your characters to look different, you also have to focus on making their facial features different too. Maybe a few of their features are more prominent because of their race, or that's just how they're built. Who knows? Just don't be racist. Please, don't. Now, before y'all say shit, yes, I was a victim of this. I mean, I like to think that I can at least make their faces a bit different now from when I initially drew it, but I have this thing called style inconsistency where sometimes like the faces just don't look right, and I get very pissed off every time, and I get so frustrated every time, and I am working on giving my characters more distinct features that I'm able to like be consistent with, so they don't look different every time, but also not look the same as my other characters, which is like the hardest thing ever when you have like sometimes style inconsistency. Like, yes, I know people can recognize my style, but I am such a harsh critic when it comes to myself that I just beat myself up every time when my art doesn't look my way. I think it's because I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to my art, but then whenever I don't try to be perfect, my art ends up looking good. I guess I just answered my own, like, I just solved my own problem. I just can't really apply it at all. Anyway, however, there will be cases where you can intentionally make your characters look similar for plot reasons, which is my favorite thing to do because I don't have to worry too much about making them different. But then I get frustrated if they don't look similar. So there's no winning. I can't win. So if they look similar for plot reasons, or if they're literally siblings or twins, you do what you want. Like, I know every artist will tell you this, and I will tell you this too. Do facial studies. I'm a hypocrite because I don't do facial studies, but I'm telling you this now as someone who should be doing facial studies, is that like it helps you get familiar with drawing features you probably never drew before, and it could also help you with your style inconsistency, or it could help you, I don't know, just draw better. I guess I feel like I should start doing that if I keep getting disappointed in myself. And I noticed that a lot too, that like for POCs, is that people don't know how to draw them, especially black people. Like, people get afraid of drawing them, and then they end up making them look very washed out. And I was one of those people back then. I only drew Asian people. I only drew what I knew best, and then I took a leap forward in drawing more POC characters. It was a game changer. It became very fun, and honestly, the best approach I can say to wanting to draw POC is to just fucking do it. Like I said, do facial studies. Like, POCs come in different shapes and sizes. Even white people look different. Like, look up what actual people look like. Go outside, observe people around you. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly at all, but it's helped me a lot, especially like looking at other people and using references. There will be someone that looks like the characters you draw. Trust. Again, unless your OC is like non-human, I don't know if I want to, I don't know if like I want to see some creature monster, you know? Unless okay, and to those with more simplistic styles, like with no noses, no lips, to really give them away as like distinctive, you know what I mean. The best way I can think of to not make your characters look the same face wise is like giving them different eye shapes, and also play around with whether or not you want to give them light in their eyes, like give light into their eyes. You know, maybe they could have suffered something and the light is minimal or not there. And you can also give them different mouth shapes, like the W shape or like the V shape or the line shape. Again, I'm just giving tips that I followed to make my OCs. I still have a lot to work on when it comes to my characters, especially their designs, because sometimes I'd be like wanting to scrap their designs and redo them, but I'm too attached to their designs to even do that. Give them different body types. Make your characters skinny, thick, plus size, stick thin, slim thick, mid-size. Do it all. Give them disabilities too if their designs and stories call for it. And I know, people could skew this and be like, oh, you're being too woke now. I mean, this video is about diversity, so how much more woke can you get with that? You should also make them different heights too. It adds more variety to the mix, and I don't know, it could be fun, like have really short people or really tall people or regular height people. I don't know. It is easier said than done, I'm sure of it. So everyone will be built different no matter how you see it. Fat distribution, face shape, bone structure. I take a lot of this into consideration when designing my characters, albeit sometimes my anatomy looks wonky, and that's okay, because like sometimes the references that I use can't really translate well onto my art style or my characters. Not everything will be perfect, even though I literally will drag my body down to a wall and sob every time it doesn't look the way I want it to be. But this is my advice to you, is that not everything will look perfect, not everything will look the way you envision it, and that's okay. And that is definitely something I need to apply to myself. An easy way to draw your anatomy is when you draw your base guideline, use different shapes to outline the main silhouette of the body. Even if it looks like ass in the beginning, you can refine it and fix it later. Honestly, there's not really much else to say here, so I'm moving on to wrapping this shit up since I think I've talked enough. So, how can you apply all of this together to make your characters be different from one another? You just do it. I don't know. So what have we learned in this video? Right, make it happen first and refine it later. I cannot believe all that yapping for me to say, yeah, I don't know, just do whatever you feel is right and then fix it as you go. In all seriousness, there is definitely way more aspects to add to your characters, like little quirks, their mannerisms, how they speak. I would say though that these would align more with personalities, like in the personality section the most, and also making a good and compelling backstory that correlates with their ambitions and their traits, you know, is important too. I don't know if y'all would want me to make a video on that. Let me know. Like me talking about backstories and shit. I don't know. I don't think my backstories are that good. I ain't gonna lie. Applying all of these together would require you to do all of them. Definitely, yeah, but one step at a time. Because I feel like if you're trying to develop everything at once, it gets jumbled and you'll get essentially burned out, overwhelmed, and making characters won't be fun for you. So take your time and craft your characters to your liking. That's your creation. Take care of it. Don't let them die in your folders. Don't let them die in your sketchbooks. Keep them alive. As we reach the end of this video, I would like to say thank you to all of you that reached this far into this video. I hope like a lot of my tips helped you in making more diverse OCs and actually enjoy making them instead of having them exist and throwing them aside for a few decades. You know who you are. And if they didn't help at all, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm glad you still watched the video though. And I don't know, this video idea came to me in a dream, and people wanted me to make this video when I posted me asking about it on my Insta. So here it is. Oh yeah, these were the speed paint video. These were meant to be photo cards, but I am a bum and don't feel like leaving my house to go print these. I should probably though, and maybe make a video about that too. But that's future VV's problem. I appreciate everyone's support. You know, like, I appreciate it a lot. I can't believe I hit, like, what, 67.6 subscribers? I don't know. When I'm doing this voiceover, I haven't checked how much I have. It makes me so whimsical and happy. Please like and subscribe. And I don't know, hit the notification bell or something if you actually want to see me post in real time or something. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!